Hello there, and welcome to another video that I am doing. I am back. You will notice a slight name change to Blazing Valhalla. It is still me. I am back. I do have a webcam. It is not perfect. It's a little bit laggy right now, but we're going to figure that out a little bit later on. And we're going to kick off with some indie games. Basically, this is called Night on the Lake by madfrey, and it is on itch.io. You can play this game for free, but at the end of the day, you can also pay money as well if you like the game. So let's crack on into it. I don't know anything about it. I don't know whether it's a horror game. I know that there are choices, but that's it. You open your eyes to a starry night. Sitting upright, you realise you'd fallen asleep in a canoe, lying on the shore of the lake. Beside yourself, the beach is completely empty. You remember taking a nap around early evening, and judging by the placement of the moon, it's been several hours since then. You grab for your phone. Dead. No matter. You can see the other side of the lake where you're staying. However, it is late in the night. Not necessarily advised to go canoeing at this time. It's hard to tell what's in the water in daylight. There's no telling what could be hidden in the depths now. Although, it could be totally safe. It could be totally safe. You've been coming to this lake since you were 2. It is essentially your second home. This wouldn't be the first time you'd canoed at night. It would just be the first time you'd done it alone. Canoe across the lake? Or don't canoe across the lake? Let's canoe across the lake. Even at night, you know this section of lake like the back of your hand, and you decide to paddle back. You push off into the lake. You feel a bit stiff after sleeping in the canoe of all places, but otherwise it's smooth sailing. Based on a previous experience, it should take somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes. You let muscle memory take over as you appreciate the serenity of the lake, without the hustle and bustle of the usual families tubbing and jet skiing. The lake has a certain beauty in its silence. With the moon as your only companion, you continue forward. After paddling a bit, you suddenly sense something. You cannot explain it, but it feels as if there is something nearby. The hair on the back of your neck stands up as if someone is watching you. The idea is preposterous, but you still feel uneasy. We have the choice to look behind us or ignore the feeling. I would never ignore the feeling. I would look behind me. You look behind you to see nothing. Just the wake of your canoe rippling across the water. Somehow, this does not reassure you. Turning to face forward, you try and shake off the feeling. Suddenly, something grabs you. You flail as you're dragged into the lake, cold water consuming you. You struggle against your captor, trying to break free. It's futile, as you are pulled down deeper and deeper into the lake. You're near the bottom now. The pressure alone should render you unconscious, yet somehow you are fine. More so, you haven't been holding your breath. You can breathe normally. The realization calms you slightly. Or perhaps you're in such a state of shock that you can no longer bring yourself to panic. You're finally able to look at your captor. Yes, it must be a shock keeping you from panicking, because there is no other explanation why you are calm at what looks like a catfish-human hybrid in front of you. From the waist down, instead of legs, there is a tail, muddy green and scaly. The torso, while built like a human female, is the same muddy green with scales climbing up to the face. Human, if not for the slits along the neck you assume are gills. Her face would be beautiful, if not attached to such a gruesome body. You continue staring at the creature as you reach the lake floor. She relaxes her hold on you as she searches amongst the rubbish scattered around. Her only grasp on you now is a single hand on your wrist. While her grip is strong, you are certain you could free your arm. With her distracted by the trash on the ground, this may be your best chance to escape. Should we pull away? I think it's probably best, but considering that we can breathe underwater, why? What's the point? I might as well stay, you know. You know what? We're gonna stay. We're gonna see what, you know, we're gonna see what the crack-a-lack is. This entire experience has felt like a fever dream. At this point, you're almost certain it actually is a fever dream, caused by getting heat stroke during your nap in the canoe. If it's not a dream and somehow this is really happening, you doubt you can swim faster than a freshwater mermaid. You wait several minutes until the creature finds what she's been looking for. She guides you to an old billboard. Must have been washed in during the flood, advertising hunting gear. The board depicts various types of hunting rifles and knives against a backdrop of dilapidated camo. She gestures at you before pointing at one of the knives, and then to herself. Maybe she thinks we are here to kill her, but we are not. You give her a confused look. She rolls her eyes before repeating the motion, this time more forcefully. You. Knife. Her. You realize what she wants, and you say, "You want me to get you a knife, or you want me to stab you?" I'm gonna go with get you a knife. Probably means she's gonna stab me. The mermaid smiles and nods enthusiastically. You pat your pocket before remembering you left your pocket knife in your room. I have to grab it from my room. Is that okay? She nods before grabbing you, this time settling you on her back as she swims to the surface. She brings you to the beach in front of your house. She lowers herself into the water so only her eyes are visible as she watches you head towards your house. You grab a towel as you walk in. You rush upstairs and grab your pocket knife. You're about to head back downstairs when it dawns upon you. Why are you helping this mermaid? Had she not forcefully dragged you to the bottom of the lake? What kindness had she shown to you that made her worthy of your pocket knife? Did you really want to help her? Help the mermaid, don't help the mermaid. She's not actually done anything to hurt us though. That's the one thing, she's not done anything to hurt us right now. I mean, clearly she's done something so that we can breathe underwater, which is nice of her. You know, you know what? We're gonna help the mermaid. I mean, she genuinely hasn't done anything to hurt us, so let's help the mermaid. Oh well, you've always been too nice for your own good. Plus, there was probably some sort of karmic punishment. Karmic? Surely that's not a word. Yeah. Surely there was probably some karmic punishment for angering a mermaid, and you would rather not take the chances. You quickly grab your pocket knife before running to the beach. The mermaid perks up. Too many jokes, too little time. When she sees you approaching, noticing the knife in your hand, she smiles wildly. She reaches her hand out to receive. Before handing it over, you say, "I am lending this to you, okay? You have to bring it back." The mermaid nods before snatching the knife and swimming rapidly away You sigh as you sit on the beach. Hopefully the wait isn't too long. Opening your eyes, you see the sun has risen. You must have dozed off. Glancing around, you notice your canoe has pulled up onto the beach. You peer inside and see your pocket knife. Carved into the boat next to the knife are the words, "Thank you." Good ending. Kindness to a stranger. So that is one ending that you can get. Let's see what other endings we can get. What we'll do is we'll probably do about 2 endings or something like that. I won't read out the pages that I've already done. I'll just read out the new ones, just so obviously this video kicks off. If you want to see me play through all of the endings in this one, leave a comment down below if you would like to see me do all the endings. But I'm going to do maybe one more ending, and then we'll kind of leave it at that one. I didn't realise that this was just a text-based story game. It didn't actually say that it was just text-based, but you know, it's well written, engaging, so we'll go on for one more. So basically we wake up, we're in the canoe, beach is completely empty. You remember taking a nap, you grab your phone, it's dead, no matter, you can see the other side of the lake. So, not necessarily advised to go canoeing at this time. So this time we are not going to canoe across the lake. Better safe than sorry. You feel confident in your ability to get across the lake safely, but confidence is only a step away from arrogance. It certainly is. Which has led a great many men to their deaths. Besides, your shoulders feel stiff after laying in the canoe for who knows how many hours. You might be too sore to paddle even halfway across the lake. You try falling asleep again, but the growing ache in your shoulder protests against the idea. You decide to look around. You could go further inland. A short walk through the woods leads to an open field. You have experience finding this field in the dark, due to it being a perfect spot to catch lightning bugs. You could also walk further along the beach to the old boathouse by the dock. We could go to the field in the woods or the old boathouse. Now, I would prefer to go to an old boathouse rather than a field in the woods. So we're going to go to an old boathouse. It's been a while since you've been to the old boathouse. Hopefully there is a good nook for you to go back to sleep in. You head to the boathouse. Entering the boathouse, you immediately cross it off the potential nap spot list. The thick layer of dust covering anything. You don't think you could stop sneezing long enough to fall asleep. After several sneezing fits, you are finally able to quiet down. However, the silence is broken by a sound outside. It sounds almost like a whimpering animal, but you cannot be certain. If it is an animal in need, you would like to help, but it could also be something dangerous. You have mistaken wild animals for animals in need more times than you can count. You shiver as you remember getting sprayed by a skunk. You wouldn't make that mistake for a 5th time. You look around, seeing if there's anything you can use to defend yourself. Grab the knife, grab the oar. I'm going to say I grab the knife. The oar is going to take too long to swing. Probably going to do more damage, because the knife you've got to get kind of up close. The oar, you can keep everything at arm's length, but yeah, let's grab the knife, man. In the event you come across a dangerous animal, you probably won't be much use with a knife, but the knife makes you feel safe, and that's what matters. The probability of it being anything dangerous is pretty low anyway. You follow the whimpering sound, being as stealthy as possible. You adjust your grip on the knife as the whimpering sound gets louder. Seeing a pile of nets up ahead, you assume some animal got tangled in them. Depending on what it is, you might be able to cut it out. Optimistic that you may get to be the hero, you quicken your pace. You're within a yard of the net when you see what is trapped. In shock, you stare at the creature before you. Peeking out from the end of the nearest water, you can see the tail made of muddy green scales. The scales continue up the torso, stopping about halfway and fading into a pine green skin. Deep slits line the neck, flittering as the creature writhes within his entanglements. You gasp in surprise, and he stills at the sound. Okay, so we helped a mermaid by giving her a knife in the first version of this story. She came back and said thank you. She brought the knife back and said thank you. I think what we found here is what she used the knife for. This is really fucking cool. This is actually really cool now. Okay, you do a different story and you find out the other side of it. I like it. Oh no, he's seen you. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. He stares at you. The fear in his eyes reflecting what you feel in your own heart. You panic. What are you supposed to do in a situation like this? I would probably run. Like, way fast, mate. But I'm gonna stay. Because I think that we're gonna free him rather than the mermaid having to free him, but same thing. Your heart breaks looking at the creature. You may be having an existential crisis over the existence of mermaids, but how scared you felt could not compare to how terrified he must feel. As a sign of good grace, you make a big showing of setting your knife on the ground. His eyes stare at it before glancing at you, and then back at the knife. You look at him in confusion before realizing, oh, duh. You use the knife to cut the rope. You pick up the knife carefully. Before slowly approaching him, he visibly stiffens. I really need to get my mind out of the gutter. I'm not going to hurt you, he said, attempting to calm him down. I want to help. He seems to relax slightly, but he still eyes you warily. You gently grab the net, making carefully cut. The knife is old and blunt, so the process is slow, but it eventually severs the rope. Tentatively, you methodically untangle the merman, and you remove the netting. Actually, that's a thing. Is it merman? For a male mermaid? As time passes, he grows more comfortable with you, and even begins to help you once his hands are free. That should do it, you say, cutting the last rope. Finally free, the mermaid leaps into the lake and you start to head back to your canoe, assuming he is gone. But he resurfaces a moment later, eyes full of gratitude. He gestures for you to come close. Walking to the edge of the lake, you notice he has something in his hands. He has an old pair of aviator sunglasses, somehow in perfect condition despite coming from the lake. As he hands them to you, he rasps out in a gravelly voice. Thank you. Good ending number 2. Friend to the merfolk. Well, that is where we are going to end this game. It's brilliant how it connects. It is really, really cool how it connects. I absolutely love it. It's weird. It is really weird. But we have the 2 connections there, so obviously when we gave the knife to the mermaid, she was going to cut her, I don't know, friend, partner, whatever, out of the net. So if you want to see any more endings in this one, I don't know how many endings there are, but I know obviously that you can go to the field, you can do all sorts of stuff. So if you want to see any more of this, please do let me know in the comments section down below, and we will do a few more. But for right now, on to the next game.